WFT. Let's start with the latest entertaining update from the January 6th Capitol riot defendants and their legal saga. Jacob Hiles, the January 6th defendant, who told on his cousin and a Capitol police officer who tried to help said cousin cover up his involvement with the riot, is asking for leniency in his sentencing. Now, I know the FBI usually looks out for folks who sing like Bocelli in the interrogation room, but leniency should be minimal for him. Why? Jacob Hiles' cousin was the guy who put all his illegal business out there on Facebook, posting that he went to D.C. on January 6th to, quote, smoke weed in government buildings and to, quote, intimidate Congress. There you have it. Then a Capitol police officer named Michael Angelo Riley reached out to him to try and get him to delete the post. Jacob dimed out both of them. How you gonna tell on your own cousin? Your cousin! How? Vin Diesel would be so disappointed. You don't turn your back on family. Jacob threw everybody under the bus to save himself, including his cousin, who incriminated himself on Al Green's internet. Because you tired of being alone, wondering how you can mend a broken heart. You telling the authorities to call me, you've got a friend, so you can lay it down and then take me to the river. But they said, I can't get next to you, man. The prison said, let's stay together. I'm still in love with you. And the guard wished you love and happiness for the 6 months you are now facing. Nailed it, nailed it. All right. I chose this next story because it involves a DC school and a Rhode Island school, and yes, at the exact same time. According to an ethics board complaint, Michael Redman, a former Rhode Island school principal, is being investigated for working remotely as an assistant principal in Washington, D.C. at the same time. Now, I know I should be thinking ethics or these kids deserved a focused principal, but I'm just saying, if the work was getting done, that's impressive. He is the greatest multitasker in the world. Why can't we let that man be great? Maybe if we paid teachers and principals better, they wouldn't have to get second jobs as teachers and principals. He's not the first teacher with a side gig. He could have chosen to 10 bar at Ruby Tuesdays or 10 Rubies on OnlyFans. Instead, he doubled down on education and paychecks. If Michael Redman has trouble finding work in education as a result of this, he should go on and teach a masterclass on remote work and time management. DC is the only city in the world where a whole school can be a side piece. And finally, my favorite story of the day. This last story comes to us from somebody, one of us, who was one of the most beloved athletes in the DC area before things went completely off the rails. No, not him. No, definitely not. We have had a lot of these. My goodness. There we go. Former Washington football team quarterback Robert Griffin III, or RG3, announced on Twitter he will release a tell-all book about his time with the team titled Surviving Washington.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that I wrote a book, and it's coming out in August 2022, titled Surviving Washington. Now, every experience that I've ever had has made me a better husband, a better father, and a better player. But I want you to take this journey with me as I walk you through one of the most dysfunctional franchises in all of sports.
Now, I'm not going to dispute nothing you just said there, RG3, but how you going to title it Surviving Washington, putting Washington in the spot of other surviving series of tell-alls of people that committed serious crimes? I know I call out the burgundy and gold all the time, but it ain't been that bad. But RG3 is spilling the RGT. They should have given him a tripod, though, instead of a book deal. Go ahead and hold your phone steady, bro. I don't think Dan Snyder is actually worried about this book because Congress wants to look through his DMs right now like an insecure spouse. RG3's version of Mommy Dearest got to be the least of his concerns. But who knew back in that magical season of 2012 when RG3 and his struggle braids won Rookie of the Year that it would come to this. He went from hero to singing like Placido Domingo, that's 2 of the 3 tenors, and selling his version of the team's behind the scenes dirt. What I'm getting from all this drama is to never trust the Washington football team or a grown man with plaits. They will all let you down. But I will say, it takes a very special franchise to have its former QB ready to tell all, and you ain't worried because you are preoccupied with keeping Congress from making you tell all. Who knew that Messi had rewards? One last note. Today is Giving Tuesday. There are hundreds of worthy groups right here in our community who could use some of your holiday bonus cash. So check out WSA9.com for tips and resources to help you support charitable efforts in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And I know it's been a tough last few years for a lot of us, but we have so much to be grateful for. We just saw that last week. And there are so many others out there who would be grateful for things that we take for granted. So if you can, take this opportunity to be a blessing to someone else. It is the best feeling you'll have all day. I promise you that.